What's up, guys? It's Hannah and my little sister Simone. Oh, whoa. I don't know
Oh
what.
yeah, we
Wow.
we saw your mic and we had to do something
Yeah,
similar, you know?
that's our grand entrance.
I've never seen anything quite like that.
You
So
know about it.
breaking records here on the Royalty podcast. No, but thank you guys so much for joining us on the Royal Tea. We have two very special guests today, and we felt like what other way to close out this season of recapping the Amazing Race 38 than with the winners of the Amazing Race 38. So we have Jag Bains as well as his older brother Jazz. You definitely recognize Jag from season 25 of Big Brother, which he won. Uh, and I said this for Tucker and Eric. If you are one of those people who tunes in for the latter half of the episode, then you've never seen these two in your life because we always check in within the first 10 minutes before the rest of the teams even leave. But no, Jag and Jazz, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We made this happen very quickly. But how are you guys?
We're doing great. Thank you for having us. Our favorite sisters that we could be talking to right now. We're doing awesome.
Favorite
Yeah.
sisters on that we're talking to right now.
Yeah.
I was like, why'd you have
I
to
was
say
thinking I was
so
like
much?
favorite sisters, and I was like, is that true? I was like, is there anyone that I'm like throwing shade at? And there's Rubina and Christine that I don't want to throw shade at. But,
And Nat and
but we
Steph.
love y'all.
Nat
And
and
Nat and
Steph.
Steph.
Yeah.
But we love y'all.
We love you guys. No, we love you
We're off
too.
to a strong start right now.
Yeah.
No,
Royal
of
Tea
those
getting
three
tea.
sister pairs, one of them we love a lot. One of them, maybe not. One of them right in the middle. And you are not at the top. Let me just say that. Let me just start off.
You said, so you are top 3 and you're not 1 and you're not 2.
Yeah.
It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Exactly. No, all of the sister pairs this season are phenomenal, if I do say
Yep.
so myself. Same with
Almost
the
as good as
brother
the brother pairs. Lock
Oh,
in.
pairs. That's
You said-
debatable because a majority of your guys' dialogue was just, let's go.
Okay, that's so true. That's so true.
I was about to let's go
These
right.
people never read a dictionary.
I actually-
They don't know any other expressions.
No, fun fact. My first words out of the womb were "Let's go."
Yeah, it was.
So, it was only right that we said it on the race as well.
It's your birthright to utter those words.
Yeah.
Not your birthday. So something actually that Jazz and I were just talking about the other night, I can't remember if it was Friday, Saturday, because the last week is kind of jumbled up in my mind, but we were talking about how there are a lot of similarities between the different sibling pairs. And so I know in a fair share of interviews that Simone and I did, I'm not going to put this on Simone, kept saying like I'm rooting for the all women teams and I'm also rooting for the sibling teams. That was really no shade to any team that didn't fall into one of those two categories, but hello, of course I'm going to root for an all women team. And with the sibling teams, I feel the exact same way, Jazz. Like Simone and I saw so many similarities between ourselves and other pairs, or we saw things that we really admired in your guys' relationship, for example, because you guys almost had the opposite childhood of us. Like you guys spent all day, every day together up until college, past college. So, yeah, I just think that our cast as a whole was super special, but especially the sibling pairs. The love between everyone was certainly not lost, and it was palpable. So I loved watching you two race. That was me going off on a tangent, so I'm sorry. That wasn't even a question.
I love it.
Ew.
We all know I love to talk, but the first thing that we usually start with is, how did you guys prepare for the amazing race? And I definitely want to hear from you, and I think everyone watching wants to hear from you, seeing as though you guys won and broke multiple records on your path to winning. So please just kind of break that down to us.
Yeah, I mean, we did anything and everything we could think of under the moon. Like, it was like as soon as he got the call for it, we deleted Google Maps off our phone. Right, like it was like that point forward where like we need to get good at navigation. We did like languages. We did.
I started running with a backpack. I mean, it's all the things that you think of like, oh, I should probably do this.
Yeah.
We were also living together in LA at the time, so it's easy to hold each other accountable. And beyond like the specific skills, one thing that we focused on a lot was our communication.
Yeah.
Which is like, how do we, in a high pressure environment, knowing we're both competitive, communicate in a way where we'll always be productive and positive. And so we just started practicing that. I mean, I think we have good communication as is, but like we know how stressful it can be in some of those situations. So started practicing that too. And like
we would just start yelling roadblock at each other when we were doing tasks. So like he'd be putting dishes away and I'd be like roadblock.
He's
and so we would have to do it faster. You know, so like just little things like that. We had like we were building, was it a rowing machine? We were building a rowing machine and I was in one room telling him the directions, but he couldn't look at the directions. So I had to like, you know, try to, so there was like little things that we would do that would like, we would add a layer to it just to be like, okay, let's see how we can make this more fun and exciting, or like how we can make this to like, to prep for the race.
That's incredible. Nothing about that shocks me. And I think you have to be very resourceful. Like on the race, you have to be resourceful, but you also have to be resourceful in terms of your preparation. So turning menial tasks like folding laundry into a roadblock, that is good practice. Because it doesn't require you going to the store and buying a bunch of extra stuff and etc. So a couple questions that I have in particular for you guys. Jag, I remember when you went on Big Brother season 25, you talked about how you had a trucking business with your family. Well, Jazz is your family, and so I'm assuming Jazz was also part of that trucking business. Do you guys feel like your experience driving pretty large vehicles, I'm assuming long distances, do you guys feel like that helped? And then I have another part to my question. Wait, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so tired. Give me like 3 seconds to buffer. Yes, okay. When it came to the roadblocks, how did you guys determine ahead of time who would do what? Because each team kind of had their own strategy. So I'm curious to hear from you guys.
Well, for the first part, that with the trucking, it surely helped with confidence, if not with execution. You know, like we felt confident going in with like stick shift and driving and all of that.
Because the trucks that we have are manual trucks.
Yeah.
Like we knew how to drive manual semi trucks. But obviously we saw that
I saw it play out where
I couldn't put it in reverse.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it didn't actually help with execution.
However, like what I liked about that is, I mean, you can see it in the episode, and like even when we talk about it now, it's like we would laugh about it.
Yeah.
We thought it was really fun. It was stressful in the moment, but one of the things for us throughout this race has just been to pivot, right? If we can't move forward with whatever strategy it is, like just keep moving forward in any other way. So I just started pushing the car back, and then we laughed about it and continued moving forward. And for the rest of that leg, we didn't use reverse. I got out of the car and just pushed the car back. And I was like, that's how I'm going to just park into this parking spot, is I'm going to push it to where it needs to go. And we're going to not let it like bring us down, because we can still keep moving forward. And I forgot the second part.
Yeah, let me buffer real quick and think about the second part of your question.
While y'all are buffering, I cannot believe that I mean, we obviously knew that you guys know how to drive like semi trucks, but still can't believe that you guys know how to do that, let alone like manual semi trucks. Like, what's like the quick summary of that? Like, when did you guys first learn how to start driving a truck, let alone like a stick shift truck?
So our family's been in like the gas industry for a long time. And so we've had gas trucks, like semi trucks, for a while. And that was something that we started doing maybe like a handful of years ago, like 5 or 6.
So like a is it concept or whatever, or like I don't even know, like a principal value, I can't think of the word, that we have for like our businesses is essentially like if we expect someone to do certain type of work, if we're starting a business, we should also know that work, right? Because then we can understand how to support them best, because we've been in those positions. And so that's how we went on to get CDLs for ourselves, because we're like, look, if other workers are going to be driving these trucks and driving CDLs, we should learn how to do that as well, because then we can learn how to support the people that are working with us or for us. So like that's kind of how it ended up being like, oh, let's go get CDLs too.
Wait, so sorry, what is this CDL?
Commercial driver's license. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
What was the second part of your question? I don't remember.
Yes,
Oh,
no worries. The second-
I remember. Yeah. How do we decide what roadblocks to do?
Yeah.
So at the beginning, you saw, he did all the roadblocks at the beginning. Like the first 3 or 4 roadblocks or something he just did.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we came in talking about is because I was on Big Brother, had experience doing competition. So I felt comfortable in that sort of environment. And I wanted to get his feet wet as soon as possible so that he wasn't nervous. Like, it's daunting. Like, oh, this is my first.
So he threw me in the
individual
deep end, essentially. He just was like, hey, go learn how to swim.
And that's something I just told him. I was like, look, the first roadblock, regardless, like, I think you should do it. And turns out he was great at roadblocks. And so it worked out really well. Beyond that, with him getting comfortable and confident in the roadblocks, it was just our own skills. Like, I feel like I'm better at memory.
He's much better at memory. I'm better at like using my hands and building. That was the plan.
And we
but
got
like,
it wrong
as
every
you guys
time.
know, it does not work out. Always, you like try to use context clues, the one line and all of that, and then you're like, and then you look at the challenge and you're like, wow, we just picked wrong. Yeah. You know, we did that so many times. But I think we have such similar skill sets too, that like we were confident
never
that
make or
either
break,
or, yeah, like we could complete it. You know, so
That's thank you for answering that two-parter. That brings me to my next question for you guys, because you guys are very similar. And I remember on the show you noted how Jag may be stronger when it comes to memory stuff, whereas Jazz is perhaps handier than Jag. So you guys do have that subtle difference. But other than that, how do you guys feel like your personalities differ? Or like, do you feel as though you are two sides of the same coin? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I would say I'm funnier. I'm better looking, better personality.
He's an asshole is what he is. No,
I'm just kidding.
I feel like that maybe was one of our strengths. Like, we're very similar.
I think the thing is, we're not good at one thing, right? Like we're not exceptional at just one thing. We're like all right at a lot of things, and both of us are, right? Like it's not like, oh shoot,
we can't dance the way you guys dance.
Yeah.
However, like for us, a founding principle is like
you can win.
Yeah, it's like
you guys can win.
Master of none type deal.
Exactly. Like, for us, it was like, look, it doesn't matter if we're the best at something or not, as long as we're not the worst at something, right? And so we were just trying to lock in and be like, okay, do we feel confident enough to problem solve or like figure something out so that we don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
What was like, we're just master of none, jack of all trades.
Okay, but like personality wise,
what
are the differences there?
I mean, you guys know what out with us.
We're so similar. You know what I mean? So,
like, if you guys are blindfolded and we started talking to you guys, we will be like, "What? I don't know who's talking to you."
Similar personality-wise, I think. Yeah. That's why we also worked on our communication too, is because we both get so into what we're doing, and we're both competitive too, and so we're like, okay, well, if we're both competitive and we both disagree on like what the best detour is to do or the best route to take or whatever, like how can we figure this out? And so we just started talking about like how to communicate in that way, or like, okay, having clear roles. Like I was the navigator and then he was the driver, so I made the final call on what direction we're going, and that way we didn't argue when we were trying to get from place to place. Like, yeah,
But it was an open conversation
Yeah.
still. Like, if I was like, oh, no, I don't think we're going the right way, it wasn't like, well, I'm the navigator, hard set, right? You got to be open about that communication too. So,
Yeah, I was gonna point that out because that's something. I mean, you guys really did not mess up. I think your one mistake throughout the entire season was not knowing how to reverse the stick shift vehicle. And you guys were able to think quickly and you guys were able to pivot and figure that out. So it was, I don't know if I would even call that a mistake, but something else that really shined is the fact that you guys remained so respectful of one another, and it was clear that you guys were working as a unit. And we said this on our podcast with Joseph and Adam that we recently recorded, but it's never the strongest or the tallest or the most athletic team that wins. It's the team that has the best self-awareness and the team that's also able to remain optimistic and supportive of one another. And you guys just exemplified that to the nth degree. And that, in my opinion, is why you guys won. There's really no like crazy formula. I think you guys just perhaps baked the best cake when it came to the ingredients that go into winning a show like The Amazing Race. Did you guys feel that way too, or are you like, no, thank God they didn't show any of our worst moments, but we were arguing the entire time, Hannah? Like, how do you guys feel just hearing me say that?
I definitely agree. Like we, in terms of like us staying positive and not arguing or anything. One of the things that we talked about a lot is there's gonna be a no point in time where I'm intentionally sabotaging our team or he's sabotaging our team, right? Like
we're on the same team.
Exactly.
Right?
And so even if I'm taking a lot of attempts at a roadblock or I'm doing something that he might get frustrated at because he might just be better at me at that thing, I'm still trying to do my best, right? And so like keeping that in mind and being positive afterwards too. And so we sort of talked about too is like, hey, if I mess up on a roadblock, like the last thing I want to hear from him as my partner is like, dude, we lost so much time, whatever. It's like, I promise you, I'm going to be hard on myself already.
Yeah.
Right. Being a competitive person, I'm going to come out and be like, dude, I'm so sorry. And so what I need from you as my partner is to be supportive and be positive. And so that's sort of what we reflected for each other.
Okay, yeah, don't cry over spilled milk, in the wise words of Chelsea and
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite scenes from this season. How are you doing? Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so another question that I have for you guys, and this is a finale recap, but also you guys just have such an interesting journey, seeing as though you won. And so I kind of like if I'm jumping around, that's why. And Simone, please feel free to interrupt me at any point. As we know, I love to talk and I want to give my sister space to talk as well.
No, me too. I'm also chatty. And you're not even that chatty.
Jack and Jazz are like, really?
We're also yappers, so
Maybe that's why we were all cast on TV. I don't know. Just a guess.
That's the criteria.
Exactly. Okay, so something that I want to revisit, and this alliance started forming around episode 2, and you guys solidified a name by episode 3. Team Trainwreck, which consisted of you two, Joseph and Adam, as well as Natalie and Stephanie. Can you talk to us, slash the viewers, about whether you guys came into the race wanting to work with an alliance of people, or did it kind of just fall on your lap? And how did that alliance help you or hurt you as the race progressed?
I would say so we went in knowing that there are going to be twists on the season, like U-turns, or hazards or yields, or whatever there is, and we wanted to best equip ourselves so that we don't get those disadvantages. So we wanted to do what we can to like work with other people, and it was never like, oh, we want to have like a named hard A alliance with people. That just sort of fell into our lap because of the whole situation with all the teams getting off on the wrong station, and then it ended up being just Joseph and Adam and Nat and Steph and us that were together navigating through so many trains together, and so we just felt like naturally there was a bond and friendship that we built by navigating through that, and so we just ended up saying like,
Yeah,
hey,
but
why don't we
also
help each
like
other?
given that like most of the teams had one half Big Brother, right? That like it was safe to assume that we were gonna have twists that involved like the social U-turn,
Yeah.
right? Or like a U-turn in general too, right? Especially since they had been incorporating the social U-turn more and more the previous seasons. And so for us, we were like, look, that's gonna happen, so we gotta
Yeah,
make
like we
sure.
saw it on the last All-Star season. There was a social U-turn. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, like I think it would be an absolute missed opportunity if they don't do that on a Big Brother season. So we expected that, and so we're like, okay,
And even season 30, 37, like they had like a twist every single leg, right? And so we're like, oh, what if they have a twist every single leg? Having a social game or whatever it is, right? Like that would be very important. But also, we're just social people. You know what I'm saying? Like we like getting to know other teams and getting to know other people as well. But yeah, it kind of just like ended up happening because we all bonded over the whole train wreck of a situation that happened during the second leg, and that's why we called ourselves train wreck.
I don't think it. I think it helped our game. I don't think it hurt us in any way that I can think of right now. I thought it was nice to, especially in the early stages of the game, you have other teams that you can rely on and support each other. And I felt like if we were helping them, we were kind of getting better at the skills that we were helping them with as well. I'm sort of mastering those skills, and we saw again like Nat and Steph writing down directions for us, and that was like a huge help and a morale boost. It just feels nice to have other teams that you feel like you can work with and trust, and you're working together. And so yeah, I think it was entirely beneficial to us.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, for viewers at home, maybe this was their first time watching Big Brother people play The Amazing Race or run The Amazing Race. Um, when I learned about this named alliance, I was like, ugh, how Big Brother of them. Just because that's what we do. That's what's been kind of ingrained in our minds. And Simone and I, for the record, we love each and every team that was part of the Trainwreck Alliance. We weren't a formal part of it, but we definitely felt protected by all of you. And so we thank you for that.
Yeah. We will voluntarily consider ourselves like the caboose.
Yes.
Like
That's
we're in the room where it happened with the train wreck, but we felt like we were the caboose.
Wait, you know, in New York, you see those videos of like the subway doors closing and then the train starts leaving and then people are like running after the train. Yeah, that's me and Simone. We're but we're there. We're
like
on the platform.
You're at the train station. You're surely there.
Yes. We're like the little kid in like the Polar Express in his nightgown, like trying to run after.
Yeah.
Precisely. And wait, Simone, you and I had a name for the four of us.
Of course.
We considered you three to be our closest teams. And on The Amazing Race, like you can't guarantee that you're going to work with anyone because if you don't see someone during a leg, then you just don't see them. There's no way for you to help them out. But we were like, okay, we feel really good about Jack and Jazz. We feel really good about Joseph and Adam, and we feel really good about Nat and Steph. And so in our minds, we had a named alliance, but we never said anything out loud, and it was called The Podium.
Yes, because we were all going to place first, second, third, and fourth. It didn't happen for the second and fourth, but it happened for the first and third. So the podium, it kind of worked out.
We're going to have to run it back.
Yes.
Yep. Let's just do a redo of this season.
Of the whole season.
You said what?
I said of the whole season.
Of the whole season, yes. Starting with Simone, you and I need to learn how to build go-karts.
Exactly. We need to go to the children's museum and like practice.
Okay, so kind of fast. Actually, no. Rewinding even more to the very first challenge, the very first episode. We have an express pass in play, or two express passes, I should say, and a hazard. And I remember the last couple teams left being you two, me and Simone, Enzo and Jack, and Izzy and Paige. And so it was not looking good for us at one point.
Uh-uh.
Thankfully, we didn't get the hazard. But then you guys are gifted an express pass from Taylor and Kylan. Can you kind of talk about that bond and how it maybe waxed and waned throughout the season? And did you guys feel indebted to them because they gave you this express pass that realistically you never needed?
I also have like
we
a pre-question to that, if that's okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So with that, like the human bowling challenge, I feel like that was quote unquote your guys' only like fall from grace in a way, in the sense that like we remember like we were kind of neck and neck with you guys in sort of like the latter half of the pack, if not like even the latter third of the pack. So
Yep.
truth be told, and this may be a dumb question, was that strategic to kind of like avoid a target getting on your back? And in the case of an express pass given, you guys tried to like downplay your strengths to earn that express pass, or was it truly just like first challenge jitters of the race and just as luck would have it? Just curious.
Yeah,
I would love to say it's strategic.
It's
but
not. We're not gonna lie to you.
That
That's
would feel
too much
like-
credit.
That would feel like in the Big Brother house when someone just is bad at a competition and they go into the DR and they're like, I threw that comp. That's not what we did. We tried our absolute best.
We did. We
Before that,
actually
yeah.
we actually missed the first clue box.
We were so
People
just
forget-
like in our head. Yeah.
Us and Anja and Lexi missed the first clue box, and so we were already behind in line because of that. And so we literally got to the mat at Phil and
And
Phil
we were
was like
laughing to
talking,
each other,
and we
yeah.
look at each other and we're like, dude, we're not gonna make it far in this race.
Like,
And we
maybe
started
race
laughing.
might
We're
not
like-
be for. We're like, I think we're cooked. Like,
We're like, oh man, we're going home soon, aren't we? And we're like, dude, and we just started laughing to each other. And so that was a rough start right there. That
Yeah.
little segment of like missing the clue box and then the whole express pass
not
challenge.
strategic.
Not strategic. at
I
all.
wish I could say we're absolute masterminds and did it strategically.
Nope.
And can hit a strike anytime, but no. And then the second, or like what you were asking, Hannah, about receiving the express pass and
Yeah.
our relationship with
Yeah.
Taylor and Kylan, we did not in any world expect to receive the express pass
Yeah.
from Taylor and Kylan. In fact, when we were all standing there and people were about to make pitches, we were considering whether or not to even make a pitch. And so for a moment there, we were like, I think it'll probably, like, it won't go to us anyway. It might go to Joseph and Adam or Hannah and Simone or another team. And then we felt like, okay, I think the pitches are a great way to introduce yourself as a team and why you're here and what you stand for. And so that's when we sort of made our pitch. And we were very surprised when Taylor and Kylan gave it to us. Initially, we thought it was going to go to Nat and Steph because they were the only ones from their season. But it came to us. And we did feel indebted to them when they gave us the express pass.
Yeah.
Which is why the first U-turn plays out the way it does. We wanted to make sure that we used the U-turn board up so that Taylor and Kylan did not get U-turned.
We knew Tucker and Eric were ahead of us, and we knew we were the next three teams to get there. Trainwreck was the next three teams to get there. So we knew you guys were behind us, and the rest of the teams, like Taylor and Kylan, were too. Because we also had, dropped off the fishnets and saw all the teams.
Yeah.
And so we're like, look, we have to use this, this U-turn board to actually, save the teams that have been helping us or that we feel close to, because then if we don't use a space, someone else that we might not be working with might use it, and it might actually hurt people that we're loyal to or are loyal to us.
Yeah, we didn't want someone to run up there and then they're like, oh, we're going to U-turn Hannah and Simone behind us.
Or we're going to U-turn Taylor and Kylan, right? And so that was a way for us to be like, look, we're using this board to protect Taylor and Kylan so they don't have to use their express pass. And we expressed this to them when we were running by them, right? We're like, hey, we use the board so you don't have to use the express pass. And we ran past them as they were getting to the U-turn board. And so they were aware of that we were looking out for them.
Obviously, the relationship changes
Yes.
later on in the
Yeah.
season on account of Eric overhearing Taylor and Kylan talking about the male teams working together and
a gentleman's agreement, right?
and then him saying that like they're coming after us, and so us hearing that and being like, okay, this sounds insane. Like, why would they give us an express pass and then also say this about us? And then
so we had taken that with like a grain of salt, but something that they didn't show was in Romania when we're sleeping in the bunkers. Those like bunkers are so thin.
They're just shipping containers.
They're shipping containers, right? And those are so thin that we overheard Taylor and Kylan in the other shipping container, because our walls were right next to each other, saying Jag and Jazz, Joseph and Adam, Tucker and Eric, we need to U-turn them, right? And I hear that and I immediately get up and I'm like, holy shit, that just happened, right? Obviously they didn't end up having, like, they didn't U-turn us. And then also, I'll add this in there too. We weren't a part of this conversation. We weren't invited in that conversation, but they were having
We've talked to them
and they were having a larger conversation about the inequity of the race and how it favors male teams. And so, but we only caught like the snippet of our names, and then the two other teams as well. And we're like, oh shit, they're planning on U-turning us. That's why we also ended up U-turning them at the social U-turn, because we're like, oh, what if they U-turn us? We're going to look dumb. Right, not U-turning them and being blindly loyal.
Well, not even what if they U-turn us, like, we overheard you mentioning our names in the same sentence as a U-turn. We don't feel like we have any loyalty to you anymore in that case. It's a game. We know they're two strategic players. If you're either talking about us to other people in that way to get them to U-turn us, or you yourself are, talking in that way, cool. Like, we did what we had to in the previous U-turn. We paid our debt, so to speak, and so now it's fair game, and we did what we did, and we stand by it.
Okay, amen. I mean, that kind of takes care of all of the questions that I think both Simone and I had about. Yeah. Okay. So good night. No.
Thanks for coming.
That takes care of all of the questions we had about that second U-turn that happened in Athens, Greece. So in that case, I want to move on to the final leg that you guys won. It was your fifth consecutive win in a row. It was your seventh win of the season. It would have been your eighth had you not stepped aside during leg 3 for Nat and Steph to take that win. So you guys start the day.
Wait, damn, you did your research.
Yeah.
You're like, you got these stats down.
She was also on the show.
I know, but
I was just gonna say, like, I was there.
Yeah,
he was in the room when it happened.
I don't even remember these stats, and I was also there.
The one claim that I have to fame is my memory. That's the one thing people can't take away from me.
That's true.
Okay, so you guys start off the day, you're at JFK, and it's an equalizer. So it's fair game. No one has any sort of time advantage. And something that I loved in this episode is you guys get into a cab. And by the grace of God, this was not planned whatsoever. You end up getting another Punjabi cab driver.
Yep.
Well, like another Punjabi who is your cab driver.
Yeah.
And immediately you're able to start speaking in your language. That's also our dad's language. So our dad thought it was cool too. But in that moment, how were you feeling? Because of course, any race day, the nerves are going to be really high. But I can imagine hearing something that reminds you of home, whether that be your native language or your parents' native language. Did that almost help ground you? Did that motivate you? Did that sort of did that send you a message like, wait a second, this win was meant for us. This is fate. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, I mean, literally what you said. Like, we sat in there when we realized he was a Punjabi 6 driver. We looked at the camera and we're like, I think we just won the Amazing Race. Like, we're like, this is such a full circle moment, given that we're the first Punjabi 6 team on the Amazing Race. And then given what we faced in Hungary on leg 4, and then now on a final leg to get a Punjabi Sikh driver, we're like, dude, this is like
destined.
full circle moment.
It's written.
It's destiny, you know? And it was insane for us. And he didn't even, it's surprising that they like showed us being like, oh, this is for $1 million. He could not care less it was for $1 million. When we told him, hey, we're the first Punjabi Sikh team, that's when he says, I'm gonna make this car fly.
Yeah.
Is when we told him we're the first team on the Amazing Race to do this, and he was like, oh shit, this is for our people. Let me turn this car into a jet.
Yeah, because we're like, we're doing this for our people. And then I think what the exact quote is, he said, I'm going to turn this car into a plane. Yeah. And then he just started flying on the ramp and like got us so quickly to the Empire State Building. And that's what gave us the initial lead, is that we had him as our driver, which was insane.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that the race showed that and like showed you guys speaking in Punjabi instead of erasing that from the narrative.
Yes.
And what I will say about the design of this final leg, and you can agree with it or you can disagree with it, but because there wasn't really like a skill-based challenge with the exception of that crossword puzzle, it's almost like the order in which you guys got to the Empire State Building kind of determined the order in which you guys checked in, because it wasn't a navigational leg. And so when he made that car fly, I mean, granted, you guys didn't know what the rest of the leg would look like, but me as a viewer, I also knew the outcome. But me as a viewer, I'm thinking to myself, like, they just won. So that was amazing.
And I will also say, I feel like as a viewer, that's why I love watching these reality competition shows, because a lot of them are so like microcosmic and representative of the real world. And it's like when you find somebody who shares the same backstory and who has potentially faced the same struggles that other people have placed on you just culturally. It's so amazing to see that workout and banding together to sort of just do something for a mission that's bigger than yourself in a way. And that's just like watching the Cookout conquer their mission. It's stuff like that that's really enjoyable to see. Also, so sorry, can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
A little
bit. I can hear the little buzz. I've just been muting myself whenever I'm not talking, but
I'll do the same. Sorry.
No, it's okay, Simone. I agree with you. Jag and Jazz, back to you. Okay, so you guys get to the Empire State Building. Correct me if I'm wrong, but neither of you guys really struggle with heights. And it seemed like you guys were having the time of your life rappelling down the Empire State Building. So were you guys scared at any point, or no? It was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let me take it in. Let me enjoy the view. On to the next.
I definitely did that. I stopped for a moment just to like look around and be like, this is insane, and then kept going.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, it was still scary. Like when you first get off the ledge, like I'm not gonna pretend like it wasn't scary, or I wasn't like, oh my God, like we're over 1,000 feet in the sky. But also I like the adrenaline. I like the thrill. So yeah, I mean, I had a great time with it. I thought it was such a like grand and fun and so much aura in that challenge that we did. I just loved
it. Okay,
yeah, aura.
Listeners must know that Jag and Jazz have enlightened us, if you will, with what the term aura is and aura. And so now I'm trying to input that into my daily vocab, which also, super side note, I was volunteering at my dance studio. Shout out to Dance Center in Naperville. And they were having a show for the kids and their families. And the amount of times I heard the word aura and aura farming, and now that I understood, I felt hip. So thank you guys. You guys make
got you.
Jag and Jazz, I have a question because I think both of you guys are no. Jag is Gen Z, but he's like the oldest of the bunch, and then Jazz is a millennial.
Yep.
Is aura/aura farming a Gen Alpha term?
Who's Jen Alpha? I don't know.
I don't
It's
even
like you're
know.
pop quizzing me on things that I don't even know. I know, like he doesn't know Jen Alpha because I don't know it.
Oh my gosh. So you guys are just out here using words and you don't even know the origin or the historical context?
I mean,
You
it
think I-
seems to
wait.
be used by Gen Alpha. It's like the same people who use like the 6-7, which I taught my mom. Now she knows
We don't
it.
say aura farming
I'm
either.
not so cool.
I also
We just say aura. I just say aura. I don't even
Oh,
say
aura
aura
farm.
farming. Aura farming is a little
No,
too cringe.
No, Jack is definitely like
I
throwing
say
out
aura farming.
Okay, maybe he does. I don't.
I like to aura farm in my free time, for sure.
I still don't know what that means.
I think Hannah, by the talks of Jag and Jazz, it just means like when you try to do something to like up your cool points. Like wearing sunglasses indoors is aura farming. You're trying to be cool.
But doesn't
That's
that
negative aura. Simone, that's negative
Yeah,
aura.
negative aura points.
Yeah.
we will revisit this conversation later because
We're about to derail this whole podcast into another hour
Yeah.
long question.
Yeah. Okay, so also I have another question. Were you guys only able to scale down the Empire State Building one person at a time? So like Jag would go, then Jazz, and then another team would start, or were you guys all climbing at the same time?
We were all
So-
if you looked at the I didn't
It has to
know
be
this.
one partner at a time. So
Yes.
only I can go, and after me, he can go. But they had
3 sides of it. So like
similar
you saw
to in the second leg in Prague, where you can walk across the like, what was it called, the Ziskov Tower.
Yeah. But I mean in the edit it shows like Taylor's coming down as Adam is trying to come down at the same time too, right? They were just on different sides. And so I mean we had to wait for the other person though.
Gotcha. Okay, so after you guys rappelled down 13 floors, by the way, lucky number 13.
That's true.
After
Well,
you guys
also,
rappelled
wait.
down 13.
Something I didn't know, which I think is so crazy. Only 20 people in the
Oh, yeah.
history of the Empire State Building have rappelled down it, and now it's 26. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I just wanted to mention
From the
that.
start of dinosaurs to now, there's been
You
26.
said what?
Yeah.
From the
When
dinosaurs
dinosaurs
existed to now. That's crazy.
Yes. Wow. From BC till now. Well, actually, the dinosaurs were definitely BC. Okay. So you guys open your clue and you have to pick up this delivery and then you have to deliver said delivery. That's the point of a delivery. So you guys bring a cookie to Cookie Monster. What a celeb
Yeah.
cameo. Jazz, you are obviously a Cookie Monster super fan. You dressed as him one
That was
year.
so cute.
You have a burner Instagram account and it's
He has a
dedicated
Cookie Monster
to Cookie
tattoo
Monster.
across his back that he'll be showing
Yes.
after. Yeah.
You would talk about Cookie Monster all the time
Uh-huh.
during downtime. In fact, your first words as a kid were "let's go," but your next words were "num num num."
Yeah.
He made special requests every single day on the race to get a cookie for dessert. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Wait, speaking of, for some reason, Tucker and Eric keep bringing up this brownie, and I don't know
yes.
what they're talking about. Do you
Same.
know anything about
You want a
brownie?
brownie?
Brownie for breakfast? I don't know. I don't know what they were feeding Tucker and Eric.
They always do that. And you can't forget the wink after. It's always like, or you can have a brownie. And the camera.
Simone and
And
I
I
were
don't
like,
know what that means.
is this code for like something illicit, or is this good? Like, we didn't know what they were talking about.
I
We
have
didn't
no
know if you
idea.
guys all got brownies for breakfast, whatever. Okay, so Jazz, you were in your element here because
Yeah.
you have devoted your whole entire life to the Cookie Monster. So
Mhm.
were you starstruck? No, I'm just kidding. I'm being
Wait, is it just me? I looked scared in that episode. Did you see me? I was like hiding behind him. I was like, man, what the hell? I like seeing it back. I was like, damn, I look like a coward right now.
We found your one flaw and your one fear. It's the Cookie Monster. But
Yeah.
your Achilles heel, that's your guys' biggest difference. Jag's Achilles heel is actually Jazz's greatest strength, and that's the
Yes.
Cookie Monster.
Which is the Cookie Monster. Yeah.
Which is that? So that was really cool. It definitely felt nostalgic for myself, for Simone, and I think any child in America who grew up watching American TV.
Or
Um,
even just around the world, like when Phil
yeah.
shared that he watched it too, since a lot of kids use it to learn English, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize Sesame Street was that old. Not saying Phil is old. I'm just.
Oh no, it's been
Oh,
around.
just in.
This just in.
Wait,
That's
I think it's been around since the 70s.
Oh, no way.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Wait, I could be starting a rumor. I was indeed starting a
Did I just
rumor
start a
because it's
rumor?
been around since the 60s.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, so that means our parents could have, they probably didn't, seeing as though they weren't born here, but they could have potentially grown up on Sesame Street. So that's
Yeah.
neat. And then, of course, Oscar the Grouch, who was my favorite character as a kid, he popped out, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh. Um, Jag, do you identify as Oscar the Grouch since you hate Cookie Monster?
I loved Oscar the Grouch more. He was a little bit further away. He was being
Bro
funny.
didn't even know his name.
I
You
did.
cap it.
Oscar the Grouch? Oscar the Grouch? No,
just
Oscar
kidding.
the Grouch was so funny. He was just throwing shade at all the teams, which I thought was hilarious.
Ooh, wait. Okay, I have a fun little side quest that we can embark on. So,
Okay.
if anyone on our cast could play Cookie Monster and anyone on our cast could play Oscar the Grouch, who would you guys have play those characters?
Ooh.
Cookie Monster.
Gosh. Who would be? I almost get like Cookie Monster vibes from Joseph. I don't know what it is, but he has like chaotic,
Yeah.
crazy energy, and he's eating all the time.
Yes.
All the time. And he eats just like the Cookie Monster does. It's all now
Yeah.
Oscar Grouch. Who would be Oscar the Grouch? This is shade. That's
have
shade.
some-
I don't know. I don't know.
Wait,
what to
wait.
say.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of everyone.
By the way, Oscar the Grouch is iconic. Like, the
Yeah.
answer to this question is not mean.
Yeah. Do you guys have someone in mind? I'm trying to think of anyone.
I do, but I want to see what you guys say.
I have somebody in mind too.
Honestly, so I never saw this, but hearing the stories, I think Enzo.
I was gonna say-
is Oscar the Grouch vibes. Because I know Alex loves telling the stories of the roadblock where he's like trying to. It's so
Enzo.
funny. Like I think Enzo's probably Oscar the Grouch, given the
Yeah.
stories I've heard.
Yes,
who
I
you
was
mean,
gonna
right?
say the same thing.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay, so I guess in The Amazing Race season 39, we may get a cameo from Joseph and Enzo. Honestly, give those two their own show. They would be so
Yes.
funny together. Anyway, besides the point, I will bring up Enzo any chance I. We should like have an Enzo count on this podcast. Okay, so you guys drop off the cookie. You guys get a clue from Oscar the Grouch, and then you end up going to Spandek's house.
Yes.
Yeah, not
I-
Spank's house.
I kept calling it Spank's house, and then someone had to correct me a ton of times. You guys went to Spandek's house. This
Yeah.
challenge was pretty straightforward. You guys have to match the little samples of fabric that are on a sheet of paper with rolls of fabric that are in the store. Can you guys give me a better idea of how long that took to match the fabrics? And also, you guys were consistently ahead of both teams, Taylor and Kyland and Joseph and Adam, but what was the gap between you and those teams as of this point in the day?
I mean, I think we were probably
20 minutes, 20 minutes
15,
ahead?
20 minutes ahead, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's probably around how long it took. It took us maybe like 15 minutes. But it's hard to always tell like when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Time is a little bit warped, but we felt like we kind of flew through it.
Through that, yeah.
We didn't really waste too much time trying to find the fabrics and stuff, and so it felt like it was pretty quick for us. As we were leaving, and it's shown in the episode, as we're about to leave is when Taylor and
It's like
Kyler
an
show up.
overlap of like not even a minute that we see Taylor and Kylan
Well, you see us
starting
getting our
as we're
check,
leaving.
yeah.
Like we're getting a check as they're like starting the challenge, right? And so that was when we saw them, and then from there we immediately went to our taxi driver, Pradeep, shout out him, and got the directions to where we were going, and he met us there, right? So we just
He was
started
so
pushing.
clutch. He was so clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, the whole like pushing the carts took way longer than finding the fabrics.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about those carts because they looked heavy.
They were heavy.
Like
They were heavy.
you could see how much that challenge took out of everyone.
Yep.
It looked brutal, and by the end of it, Jazz, you had 4 rolls, and Jag, you were carrying 12.
Well, yep.
And by the end of the challenge for Kyland and Taylor, Taylor was carrying 1, Kyland was carrying 15, and then poor Joseph and Adam, their carts were tied the whole time. So I guess they were just evenly distributing the weight. But man, oh man, that looked hard as a viewer, and I'm sure it felt even harder because at that point you guys are running on fumes.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. It was really heavy, but it was also kind of cool. Like I liked it. I liked it too because it's like it felt like, okay, this is the final leg of the Amazing Race, and we're pushing hella hard. It's heavy. I'm sweating. It's difficult, and we're quite literally just like running for our lives in the race, like as hard as we can. So I liked it, and I knew
I did not like it. I didn't. He's talking about. Like,
I like the feeling of that, like,
because I was still getting over being sick.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, at the end of it, I felt like I was about to puke.
Yeah.
Because, like, I couldn't, like, catch my breath, right? And it was, like, 10 plus blocks that we had to push it through New York streets. And I was, like, when I was trying to sit into, like, when we're sitting back in the taxi, I was like, dude, I feel like puking. Like, I need water right now. Like, this is insane that I pushed my body this hard. Because my body wasn't at, like, 100% at that time either. You know? So, also, I'm sorry if you hear me sniffling this entire time because I'm also getting sick right now too. So
I felt like it was cool. It felt like when you have like a really hard workout and then you feel accomplished afterwards. And it's not that the workout itself was like such a great feeling, but it feels good to like push yourself, and that's how it felt. So I liked it. Except for when the fabric got caught, then you're like, oh shit.
yes.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I hear a buzzing from someone. Okay, that might be Simone Baloney. Oh, no, it's okay, Simone, it's okay. I've just been doing the same thing, muting myself whenever I'm not talking. Okay, so you guys check into FIT, shout out FIT. We were just there to support Natalie and Delise.
Yeah. Wait, I also, so sorry, just wanted to say as well that one of our favorite things, Hannah and mine, that we noticed was like how nobody batted one eye or nobody looked towards you guys at all. It was just so funny the way like everybody is such like minding their own business and on their track for the day. Meanwhile, you guys are just trudging a cart full of fabric rolls through the streets of New York with a camera crew, and again, nobody paid any mind. We just thought that was so funny.
That was hilarious because the way in LA, people can smell a camera coming from 8 miles away.
Yeah.
So everyone would have been like, do you need like a soundbite? Do you need directions?
Yeah. Are you a bag project or
do you need extras? But in New York, as Simone said, not a single person, even at least in the frames that they showed, not a single person
nobody cared.
Even looked in your general direction.
We were passing firefighters at one point. If you look, there's like a second shot where there's firefighters and a fire truck to our left, and we're just pushing through too. And they didn't even look over. They were just like doing their thing, and I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Just another Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday. I think. Okay, so you guys check in to FIT. A student hands you your next clue. Okay, finally, the moment we've been waiting for, a memory challenge. All of us had been anticipating that since leg 1. That's why you will see people taking notes off to the side whenever it's
Yep.
like a roadblock or whenever there's downtime. And so throughout the season, had you guys been studying in the same way that Kyland and Taylor had been studying? And from what I understand, only one finger could move at a time. And
Uh,
What do you
so
mean in the
I
same way that they had been
I don't know how Taylor and Kylan were studying. I have no idea how they were studying. I don't know how any other team was studying but us. Were they studying hella?
well, no. What I mean is, we haven't like spoken to them, but on the show
Okay,
they
well.
said that they were studying. Some of the
Oh.
teams that we spoke to said they didn't really review their notes from the day in the hotel room when they
That
got
makes
back to debrief. So
You,
I'm just
you said
wondering.
some of the teams that were in the final leg said this?
No, just some of the teams in
Oh,
general. Like,
oh,
Like, just say
oh,
Joseph and Adam.
Yeah, I was saying.
poor Joseph and Adam. No, that's not what I mean. Like Simone and I, even though we didn't make the finale, we would come back to the hotel room and we would go over everything. So
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if you guys did the same
yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did.
Yeah, we had thorough notes. Whenever there's downtime, right? Like when I'm driving and he's navigating and you have to go like let's say like 10 kilometers in a direction, he would start taking notes of the clues, blah blah, whatever, right?
Yeah,
We
we
would
studied.
memorize like the greeters, all that stuff. So I would say like yes, I think especially given the history of the race, if you've watched the race, there's always a memory challenge at the end, right? Whatever that might look like. So you have to memorize flags. You have to memorize, what are the
Yeah.
greeters wearing? What is, like, what's XYZ? Like anything and everything. So yeah, we had studied everything.
Okay. And in terms of tackling that crossword puzzle,
Yeah.
I noticed that you guys were working on one word at a time. Is that because you could only move one letter at a time?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
didn't make sense for you guys to divide and conquer.
It was glitchy otherwise. You can only move, one letter at a time. And so at first we were just like spelling it out as fast as we can. Like I find the first letter and while I'm putting it into the right spot, he's finding the next
I already
letter.
had like the next letter go,
So we're doing that. And then at one point we just started doing it where we're doing a word each at a time. Like
we were just we
Yeah.
were communicating a lot. Like he would take a word and I would take a word and I'd be like, okay, I'm moving the R. And then as I'm moving the R and I would drop it, I'd go, and he would find it and he'd move to like the next letter to his word and I would move. So we're like back and forth communicating. They
Well-
really go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with the edit of it, the truth of it was that we left that challenge before any of the other teams showed up. And they edited it in a way that it makes it seem as though Kylan and Taylor and Joseph and Adam might be there at the same time, but they were not. I think they just edit like anytime if I look over, like when Kylan and Taylor walk it, we never saw them. And so I think they showed every moment of us thinking to make it more suspenseful. Because there was only a few words that we struggled with.
Which I appreciate because it made the episode, the last leg, way more fun
Yeah.
to watch and more suspenseful to see like, who's gonna get it, who's gonna win. But like you notice Kylan and Taylor at first when they get to the puzzle are not whispering. And then later as they're completing the puzzle, they're whispering. It's because Joseph and Adam had shown up, so they started whispering. So that kind of even showed that like we weren't there the entire time. Right.
Well, I mean, you can see it with the camera.
Yeah, like even the camera. Yeah.
There's not any single shot that shows us with Kylan and Taylor, but you do see it with Joseph and Adam with.
And it was interesting to see that like they really like emphasize our mistakes, right? Like something that would take us like 3 seconds to think about because we're like, okay, what is that word? And we're reading and we would get it. It was like, oh no, these guys are thinking about this and can't think of it. Last and first strike, like last strike and first strike, that did take a second for us, right? But you would figure out like Yankee Stadium at the end and other things that we're figuring out. Like we're like, oh shoot, it's this. Oh shoot, it's this, right? And we would just like keep going. So we ran through that puzzle actually like really quickly.
Yeah. That's why you hear us like in the taxi heading to Yankee Stadium. We're like, we flew through that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I thought that you guys were there at the same time as Taylor and Kylan. So when you guys are in the taxi feeling pretty confident, like we're about to win this thing, I'm thinking,
like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
Taylor and Kylan
Yeah.
could have walked out 5 minutes behind you. Okay, how long did it take for you guys to complete that crossword puzzle?
Mm, maybe like a half hour, I want to say, like the whole challenge,
Hmm,
maybe around a half
okay.
hour. Um, all I know
I
is
don't
that,
know.
yeah, when we left, we hopped into the taxi with
So this is why we
Freddy.
even said like he was our third teammate. He was keeping an eye out on who was coming in and out.
We're like,
Right.
watch this clue box. If any other team comes to this clue box,
And he
let
literally
us
told
know
us
after.
no one
No
else
one else
came
was
up.
there.
Like he was keeping an eye on that thing.
And that's when we felt confident because we're like, even if they show up right now as we're heading to Yankee Stadium, which is like 25 minutes away, however far away it is, like he would have to get pulled over or like something really bad would have to happen for us to not get to Yankee Stadium before whatever team is
I didn't
checking.
even I didn't even think about that possibility at all on the race. Like, what if your car gets pulled over? How does production even deal with that? Um,
They don't.
but I'm glad it
You have
never
to figure
happened.
it out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Um, yeah, interesting. But thankfully, that was a non-factor for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You guys obviously made it to Yankee Stadium first. Um, and we all kind of expected you guys to win. I think once Tucker and Eric were eliminated, in my mind at least, it was your guys' race to lose. Kyland and Taylor, they gave you maybe a little run for your money, a little push. Also, I don't want to count out Izzy and Paige, Chelsea and Jack, and Joseph and Adam because they are very capable teams.
Yes.
But you guys started out strong and you just continuously got better from leg to leg and you weren't repeating any of the same mistakes. So I just recognize that, like, okay, those are qualities that a winner would probably show. And you guys throughout the entire race were so kind to everyone. You guys were very humble from what I hear. There were multiple instances in which you waited when you didn't necessarily have to kind of even the playing field. But that's never something that you guys are gonna go on a podcast and shout from the rooftop like, oh, well, look at what we did and listen to what we did here. We're the good guy. Like, that's just not really in your nature. You guys are very graceful. You're very humble people. And so I just want to say, before we kind of get your final reflections on the season and what it felt like to win the Amazing Race Season 38, it was such an honor to race with you two. It was such a privilege to get to know you and to be welcomed into your lives a bit more. I look forward to continuing our friendship over the years and continuing to share many more laughs and memories because you can't get rid of the Chaddhas. We plan on being in your lives for a very, very long time.
Oh, thank you.
But
We love y'all so much. That's so sweet of you. Um, we loved racing with y'all as well. Is this the right?
it's supposed to be a heart, but I don't know the order that these boxes are going to come in.
Oh,
It's fine.
um, I
Wait,
cannot hear.
Simone, I can't
can't
hear you.
Simone.
Simone, are
So
you muted?
sorry. If Jack and Jazz make a V like this, and then if
Oh,
Hannah
look at me,
and
look at me.
if you come inwards the opposite way, oh, the opposite
inward,
arm,
inward, opposite hand.
arm.
Oh, no. See, it shows up differently on my screen. That's why we can't do this.
Same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we tried.
We tried. Anyway, Jack and Jazz, what were you guys saying?
No, I just want to say I love y'all so much. We have so much respect for you guys and the relationship that you have as sisters and how supportive you are. And it was just such an honor to be on the Amazing Race with y'all. So we appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Okay, but enough about us. You guys, your win. What did that feel like? And I want to know who you guys told first.
It felt, I mean, it still feels so unreal. Like when you guys introduced us as like the winners of the Amazing Race at the beginning of I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. So it's still like, it is such a huge blessing to be given this opportunity, to be given such a big platform, to be the first in our community to represent. And like even being on these shows, whether we win or lose, even if we were the first team out, it still means something for our communities, right? It's like so many of these teams that we were racing with this season were there for a bigger reason. And
everyone had such beautiful stories.
And had great stories too. And that also made it so much more fun and like so great to be able to race with so many people in our cast.
And I think it was really special for us. Like, I think that moment is just like all of our hard work has paid off in that moment. So it's such a euphoric feeling of like triumph and of like hard work and like proof of like our hard work paying off. And it was also such a great moment of like brotherhood for us, like going through this whole race. Like the focus of everything for us is like us as brothers and like how we can navigate everything as brothers and like everything that the race threw at us. And so I was just so proud of how we were able to navigate through all of the obstacles that we would have never even expected to face on the race. And so, yeah, just the moment of like running towards that mat, seeing all the teams that are cheering for us, seeing Phil on the final mat was crazy because we've seen the Amazing Race.
Yeah.
We've seen the final mat. We know that all the teams are lined up there and like could have only imagined what that feels like. And so to be in that moment was just like, holy shit. Like, I cannot believe we're sprinting to first place right now to win the race. So it was unreal.
And who was the first person you called and you told about your win?
Our family.
Yeah.
Our family. Immediately we FaceTimed them.
He tried to lie.
I tried to lie, tell we were second. But they apparently were keeping up with every single spoiler. So they like looked and they're like, no, but you guys have been getting first so often. And like
it was spoiled online, on Twitter, or on whatever.
Everywhere.
The moment we won. And so he tried to be like, we took second.
And then I couldn't hold it.
And it was just so sweet, like the reaction, like they were still so proud of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, we can't, like, how are we really just gonna lie to them about this? I was like, I can't hold this in. So
and then we told them, and they started
really
crying, so it was
and that's on FaceTime is when we saw our niece for the first time.
Yeah.
Because we FaceTimed our parents as well as our sister.
Yeah.
And so when our sister found out that we won, she started crying. And then we were like, show us our niece. And we saw our niece, and it was really special. It was a really special moment to have with them. Especially because like we missed that part of, like, we wanted to be there.
Wait, we have the video. We recorded it. I started screen recording it when there's no audio, but I screen recorded it and I have the video of
wait, okay, you guys are gonna have to send that to me and Simone if it's not like a private thing. If you guys feel comfortable. But that sounds so sweet. And yes, your niece was born during Athens, right?
Yes.
During Athens. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now she's 8 months?
8 months old.
8 months old. Yeah.
She's so crawling already.
Yeah. Oh, she's about to have her first words of "Let's go."
Yeah.
Exactly. Nom.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everyone. The last thing Simone and I like to ask our guests is a reflective question, if you will. Now, what we've been saying to every other team is, listen, even though you guys didn't win, you were obviously meant to come on this show, have this experience with your loved one, and you gained something, whether or not you recognized it in the moment that you lost, but you did. And so we ask people, like, what's one thing they learned about themselves, and what's one thing they learned about their partner or their dynamic with their partner. You guys obviously won, and I firmly believe that that was what was meant to happen from the beginning, and it was solidified when you got the cab driver that you did. That just felt like all of the stars aligning. And so congratulations. But aside from the win, because to me that's very surface level, I would love some of that money, but to me, that's still very surface level.
You have any to spare?
We're gonna we're gonna ask you guys the same question. What's one thing that you guys learned about yourself? And what's one thing that you learned about your partner? And I guess what is one way that your relationship has grown since the race? And I don't want to hear any mention of money. I want you to go deeper than that.
Well, yeah.
We weren't
You
gonna
thought we were
mention.
gonna say- I think okay, well I can start. I think like the race offered us like we were really close already, but it's such a unique experience. Like even if you're close with a sibling, when you go into an environment like that and you have this shared common goal that you can work towards and problem solve and communicate, and constantly the focus for us was how to support each other and how to continually stay positive with each other. I thought that was such a special experience for us, and to just like learn how well we can work together and how much understanding we can share and how well we can pivot when there are challenges thrown at us, and the way in which I can support him in situations and how he can support me. Because yeah, I mean, it's just like really high stress, but it's also high, like it's high emotion, right? It's not just stress that you're feeling. It's just high on every emotion. And I think like we tried to focus so much on those positive emotions. And to me, I think it's so easy as someone who is competitive or might get stressed out if I'm not performing at my best. I could, get mad at myself and be like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I, whatever. And so to have him supporting me was really beautiful. And to like curate that relationship together was really special. So I think that was, I don't even know if I answered your question, but I think that is my answer.
You answered one part of the question,
You
which was
part.
which was beautifully said. I can answer a thing that I learned about myself.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, I'm not shitting you. Like, Jag is so smart. Like, he is so fucking smart. When I say he's like super book smart and everything, he is
Like, that's the only thing he's good at is
he is
books.
so
He doesn't
good
know
at that.
shit.
His memory is so good, right? And everything too. And like to me, I was like, okay, he's gonna do the memory challenges, right? Because like I'm gonna mess it up for us. But then I got put in a situation where I was in a memory challenge and I was able to like lap people. And to me, that like really gave me confidence in my skills as well, to be like, oh shit, I don't need to be comparing myself to Jag, right? Like I am good by myself in who I am in these challenges as well. And that gave me like a huge confidence boost that I was able to carry throughout like the entire season and even now too, where I'm like, dude, wait, I got this too. Like maybe yes, Jag is better at these memory things, but maybe he's just better by like a minute, a couple minutes, right? Where it's like, yes, I still give credit where it's due and deserved, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't give myself credit either, right? And so that was like a very big moment for me on the race that I was like, damn, I just did that. Like that's crazy. So that was really cool. That's something that I learned about myself.
Yeah. I think that it was cool to see that confidence develop on the race too for him, because I was confident in him already going in. Like I knew, like going into the race, I was like, you're gonna crush it at these things, right? Like at any roadblock or any detour, like you are just as capable, if not more. And I believed in him for that, and to watch him perform roadblock after roadblock or detour after or route him for whatever it is, and to do so well in it was super cool to see. And to see his like the strategic part, like he got better and better with like, oh well, this is the way that like maybe one person would do it, but the way I strategically did it to get even better at, like it was just cool to see his mind work in that way. I think one thing that I learned kind of through him was and you could see this in episodes, he's always like looking around, or he was always like, this is beautiful. Oh, this is awesome. I'm very much more like head down, like let's go. Like if I'm in a
100%, yeah.
competition, I do not want to give 1 second to looking at anything. Like 1 second matters to me. Like it is a tangible amount of time that I will not waste. And I think it sort of shifted my mindset of like, well, it's not wasted time, right? I'm not wasting any, like, we can, while somebody's about to hand us or while something is happening, I can also enjoy all the things around me, and appreciate everything for what it is, right? Like when he's going down the Empire State Building and he like took a moment to look around, like, and meanwhile I'm like, hey, we're in a race, like, you remember? But it was cool. Like that was all like, I was just kind of joking around with him, because in that moment I was also looking around at all of New York that we can see from the Empire State Building and taking it in. For what it is, right? Like this insane once in a lifetime experience that very few people get to say that they've shared that with a loved one. And like, how lucky are we to be able to do that? And so I thought that was cool to see how he is operating in the world, even in such a high pressure situation, and how I can learn from that as well.
Damn, he sounds like the older brother. You know what I'm saying? The way he like
say.
praised me, I was like, damn.
But I feel like you two and then Joseph and Adam are the only sibling pairs where the dynamic is sort of reversed. Like the younger sibling is the one who kind of acts like the older sibling. Whereas like with the rest of us, you can tell I'm the big sister, Steph's the big sister, Christine's the big sister, Eric's the big brother. But yeah, with you guys, it's kind of reversed. Because Jag is like, and Jag is like, you know. Okay, well, Simone, do you have any closing thoughts before we close out this season of The Amazing Race and the Royalty podcast?
Well, first off, I just wanted to thank the Royalty for having me and letting me be a guest host for the Amazing Race recaps. It has genuinely been so much fun, not only to be a guest with the Royalty family, but also to spend even more time with Hannah. And in terms of my closing thoughts this season, again, you guys, Jag and Jazz, not only won the whole season and showed everybody how it's done. But I will genuinely say that with each episode, you guys showed what it meant to win with grace and kindness and humility. And it was genuinely so much fun seeing your journey. And not only was it fun watching your journey, but we are so privileged to have been a part of it in real time. And you guys genuinely, there was never a moment where you didn't look out for me and Hannah. And so we'll always be grateful for that. And again, I hope that you guys are proud of yourselves, not only again for winning, but of how you guys won and the impact that you had on every single racer along the way.
That's so sweet.
Simone,
Yeah, made me cry, Simone.
Simone, you're the cutest person ever. We love
Really
Simone. We love Simone.
I love you guys.
Simone is like the crown jewel of this season. I think everyone feels super protective over her, and I love that as her big sister. No, you guys are so sweet. So I guess just to round out this episode, just to close out this season, congratulations again, Jag and Jazz. I love what you guys took from this season, you know, aside from the money. It sounds like Jazz really worked on his confidence in certain things, and Jag was able to learn from his brother how to stop and smell the roses. And I think those are invaluable lessons. And I think those are lessons that a lot of the teams can relate to, because a lot of teams had similar answers to you too, believe it or not. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being you. We're very proud of you. Thank you, viewers at home, for tuning in to the Royalty Podcast on the Heavy Crown Network every single week for our Amazing Race Season 38 recaps. It was the coolest experience in the world to be a part of this season. let alone to relive it from week to week with each team. Um, and it also kind of like forced teams to spend time with me and Simone. So no complaints here. Um, and last but not least, thank you so much, Simone, for joining us. And I'm not even going to call you a guest. You just are part of the Heavy Crown Network family. You are a
I'm
host. You have
here.
added such a light to this podcast, and we can't wait to continue having you on in whatever capacity in the future. Simone, you are the very best. Last but not least, well, no, I think I already said last but not least, but last but not least, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for tuning in. And starting January, me and my siblings who stress me out, Big D and Tiffany, will be back to recap Traders season 4. Tiffany's gonna be on it, so it's gonna be fun. Again, those two stress me out. It does feel like kind of a babysitting part-time job, but I love them, and we have such a treat in store for you. You guys are gonna get all the behind the scenes tea. So thank you again. Bye guys. Good night.
Bye.